Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of our Chit-Chat podcast. And today we have a special guest with us, Zoel Ng.
Hello.
Yeah, hi
Hello.
Zoel.
Hi.
I just need to clarify to our audience, your name is spelled Zoel.
Yes.
Zoel.
Zoel.
Yeah, hi. Maybe you can just introduce yourself to our listeners who may or may not know you.
All right. Hello. Good day, good evening. Hi, my name is Zoel. So I am in the sustainability field, and actually I'm started very young. As a social worker, 18 years in the community, started from NGO. Then I joined the state government in 2016, joined the federal government in 2018, and 2021 I joined the parliaments group in localization of SDG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think a lot of our audience might not know what is SDG,
Yeah.
right? What does SDG stands for?
All right. SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goals. It's a bit of this country talk. It's more focused by the national plan, but I think a lot of people have started hearing about sustainability. All right.
Okay.
So SDG is one of the framework under the sustainability and adopted by 193 countries since 2015.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you are part of these companies or NGOs that work towards, implementing, I would say.
Yes. Actually, we started this NGO Alliance.
Okay.
So it's a group of NGO, including like WWF, and actually not only NGO, some government agency as well, UN Compact, JCI Malaysia, and etc. 30 plus of them. So in 2015, when the people gather together, we are just actually acting as the third-party voice.
Okay.
From the civil society organization perspective to involve in the localization of SDG.
Okay.
So in Malaysia, we have SDG roadmap. We have voluntary national review. So we are part of it.
I see.
But in 2019, there's an opportunity that actually the civil society organization thinks, hey, we can't work in silo. We have to work together with the government.
Okay.
And therefore, we approach leading by Dato' Dennison and also a group of pioneers. They actually pitched to the speaker at the time to say, let's work together. And the concept of APPGM, All Party Parliamentary Groups on Sustainable Development Goals, started in 2020. So it's very unique. It's actually, I know that your audience is from different countries.
Yeah.
All right. So in government, we have oppositions, we have governments.
Yeah.
Okay. But in the concept of APPG, it's regardless you are opposition, you are governments, we come together for common goals.
Okay.
So in Malaysia, we have this APPG that focus on sustainable development goals.
Wow.
So I'm working as one of the leaders or the directors in the secretariat in pushing on the sustainable development in Malaysia.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of portfolios. It seems like a lot of portfolios you hold. If someone comes up to you and asks you, what's your job? How do you summarize it in one word?
Often people
I help people go green.
Okay, one of the things I would say we provide a platform. We provide a platform, but often people don't really understand what I do because I also figuring out.
Okay.
Okay, because it is a very unique platform. I have to thank God.
Yeah.
I have to thank God that actually given me in this unique platform that I can serve the country. At the same time, is actually being very creative in this platform. So what we do, we build a platform for people who care about the environment. Often people think about environment, but it's sustainability, not only environment.
Yeah.
That is also in the social aspect,
Yeah.
in the governance aspect, in the partnership aspect, and in the economy aspect. In the SDGs, there are 5 pillars: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. So what we do is we provide a platform in more solid way. Okay, we do research, we do micro solution projects, we do capacity building, we do policy advocacy, and we do impact evaluations. And we don't do it alone. We started 5 years ago with only one intern.
Wow. Was that intern you?
I joined the organization in the second year actually. Okay, we started with only one intern, and now we have only about 50 full-timer.
Wow.
But we work with 600 organizations across the country in the implementation of Sustainable Development Goals.
What drew you to this kind of career? Or because I mean, a lot of people, they are general mind. You say you start off very young,
Yep.
right? A lot of people would think of, okay, once I graduate university, let's go into corporate,
Yeah.
make it big, earn the big bucks. But then it's unique. It's a unique career path, right? And you chose this career path.
Yeah.
Why?
It might sound spiritual, but this is really the truth happened in my life that I believe it's the God leading. In 2018, I always dream I want to further my postgrad. And in 2018, it's come across an opportunity and with a scholarship. I don't know what is that program about. It's called Sustainable Development Management.
Okay.
If a master in Sustainable Development Management, I know what is development. I know what is. I like the word sustainable, but I actually don't know what it's course about.
All right.
But I just because of the scholarship.
Okay.
Okay, I participated in Sunway University. Then from there, it opened my mind to see that, oh, wow, okay, there is such a group of people that actually working so with direction. I would say with direction. In the past, I joined NGO, I joined the state government. I still remember there's one day, my previous boss asked me, hey, Zoel, you always say you want to do youth development. Do you know what you want to achieve exactly?
Yeah.
In 2016, I looked at her, I couldn't answer. I thought spending time together with the youth is doing youth development.
Yeah.
But actually, where am I heading? I don't know.
Yeah.
What kind of impact I want to achieve, I want to make out. I don't really have a clear guideline. But with SDG frameworks, it's not only given me the directions. Because it started actually in even 1970s that people start seeing that we are always talking about development. But where are we heading to?
Yeah.
Where are we heading to?
True.
All right. Our climate is getting hotter and hotter.
Yeah.
And in Malaysia, we have a lot of flash flood.
Yeah.
You see that people are getting a lot of depression. Why? After so much of effort that you have invested in development and we are towards this direction. All right. Then, and the money that we have invested, do we have an indicator to actually keep track of the impact? And SDGs given a very clear framework,
Yeah.
direction, the 17 directions, the targets, 169 targets, and 247 indicators. So it gave me a very clear directions and know what I can do actually.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like it was like a life calling, a life purpose that you discovered, prompted by your former boss, I would say, or a former.
It's an encounter. I started to appreciate the SDG frameworks because it's give me a direction. But later on, I feel that I am involved, enjoying what I do is because it leads back to the principle as a God steward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the basic, because we know that our Lord is very rich.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way,
Quote unquote rich.
Yeah, he's really rich. Okay,
But he's really rich.
yeah, actually, Zoel, it stands for abundance in the Lord, in Christ. But we as a steward, how are we managing our resources?
Yeah.
The natural resources,
Yeah.
the environment that the God given, the money that we have collected in the church, or in our service, and also the relationship, the management process that we are having in the organizations. So I started to see that it actually leads us back to the basic, although that there's a lot of framework, SDG framework, is SG framework, but after all, it back to the basic is become a good steward of all the resources that Lord have entrusted to us.
I see. Now you did mention a little bit. You started off with youth development. I guess now moving into SDG, there is still a connection between youth development and what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah,
Because a lot of advocacy, I think nowadays especially, it starts with the youths of our nation, right?
Definitely, the youth have formed 50% of our populations.
Mm-hmm.
They are so creative, and even in a small budget, they can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Even our reverend sitting in front of us is still a youth under the category of youth. Okay, still below 30 years old. And
I'm above 30.
Above 30, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I'm 29.
The National Youth Framework already cut me out from a youth.
It's a very young. Okay, so the youth is very relevant. In fact, we have a lot of programs that actually involve youth.
Yeah.
We have Youth SDG Summit, Youth SDG Agent, and recently we started a very interesting program that I would like to introduce to all our audience. If you have that platform and opportunities, you can do it. It's called Young Politicians in Sustainable Development.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. I don't know how whether you are familiar with the wipes in the parliament in Malaysia.
Yeah, we are very familiar. I think all of us are very familiar.
All right. Even in the Malaysia, the parliament sitting in the meeting, our YBs, our member of representative, a lot of shouting, a lot of wasted a lot of time arguing in the parliament that even the speaker himself or herself also feel like we are in a I don't know what kind of discussion. All right, but this young politician workshop, what we did is we gather the youth, the young politicians who are still yet MPs from different parties. They come together for a 3 days workshop. They get to know one another before they have conflict of interest. Okay? And they learn about what are sustainable development goals. And they form, what we see is they form a very, very positive vibes and also synergy among themselves.
Yeah.
So what we are hoping is in future, if they are given a chance to become the ADUN or the MP, they can actually being more
Make a difference.
yes make a difference because they have friends from different parties. So before they are trying to actually stand a opposition's point of view from the different parties, they can try to understand what is happening.
Yeah. And make the world a better place, a more sustainable place.
A peaceful place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
In fact, that's
yeah.
one of the sustainable goals, right?
Yes. In fact,
One of the 5 pillars of
wow, yeah.
sustainability that you
Yes.
mentioned.
Wow, very fast. Yes, and I would always say, in terms of to implement sustainability, regardless in your organization, in personal life, in the church, in the country level, we need these 2 important key cross-cutting elements. One, peace.
Yeah.
How are we going to build the organization if we keep fighting with one another?
Exactly.
All right?
Yeah.
Secondly is really appreciate the talent, the strength of your counterpart, which is in SDG we call partnership for goals.
Yeah. So you have covered really quite a lot just in this opening introduction. But as we go into now, I think as all of you would know where the direction of this podcast is heading, we're talking about sustainability, right? And you mentioned the 5 pillars which make up the framework of the SDG, this framework today. Can we go in depth a little bit into what these 5 pillars mean?
Okay. All right. So we back a little bit, try to understand the definition of sustainability development. Sustainable development is actually a development without compromising the opportunity or the resources of our next generations, which means that we want to do this thing without harming others. All right. So the 5 pillars, it cover people that related to, okay, put it this way. Under the sustainable development, you will start hearing all these GGG, ESD, a lot of terms. But whatever it is, we back to the things is we want the development. But at the same time, we have to have a holistic thinking, holistic consideration of others' benefit as well. So when you talk about SDGs, there are 5 pillars. But SDG a lot of time is related to the government development.
I see.
All right? As a country, what we want to achieve in sustainable development, we want our people do not have poverty, not suffering from hunger. There is a good mental health and also well-being. opportunity of education, and also equality, regardless of their gender, gender
see.
equality.
All right.
All right. That is one pillar when it related to people.
Okay.
And there is also a pillar that related to economy.
All right.
We want the clean energy. We want the water access, regardless where you are. And then there is a sustainable cities, community, the use of the material when you are in the company. All right, decent work and economy. That is the economy pillar that the government have to hit to.
Now, I just want to stop a while.
Yep.
When you talk about water,
Yeah.
it's something that catch my attention. I always think that we are in a country where I don't think we have any shortage of access to water.
Wow.
Am I wrong? Or are we?
Okay, if you have the same thought as well, I will encourage you. Are they given the opportunity to comment? Actually,
yeah, they will.
They will. Okay, and then if you have the same thought as Reverend Matthew, I will encourage you to comment in the checkbox, and then we know a trace. I
Yeah.
tell you, I was surprised that in Sabah Sarawak, a lot of places do not have water access.
Oh wow.
Even in Peninsula, some orang asli kampung didn't have the clean water access. And it really make up is worsen the condition. Not only water, electricity.
Yeah.
Worsen the whole condition. People that do not have clean water access, they have to actually go very far to buy the 5 liter water to go in. And then they use the rainwater. And if without the water access, there is actually a lot of limitation for their development. All right, let me give you a case study of what we did. So with that case study and story, maybe you can understand a little bit more about our work. So our work involved in identify issues. So if you are interested in localization of SDG or adopting sustainability in your organizations, my first advice to you is you have to identify issues. So one of the case study that we encountered in Sabah. Okay, after we went there, we do the survey, focus group discussion. We meet this kampung. Actually, more than 100 household is affected because of the water gravity. They do not have access to the clean water.
Okay.
So what we do in our organization is because we get funded by MOF, from MOF, so we give a small grant, 40,000. So we get a resource person to go in with some micro solution projects. So this is how the way to go. Identify the issues, address the issues with resource person.
Okay.
And after the resource person went in, we started to fix the problem of the gravity, and the hundreds household start having access to clean water.
Oh, wow.
But it doesn't stop there. Because if do not have maintenance, very easily being like maybe abandoned or what. So what the team do is to encourage the local community to have ownership. So what they do is they collect RM1 every month to actually say to maintain the source of the water.
Okay.
And because of that RM1, the local form the committee to manage the RM1.
I see.
And because of the forming of the community, they have the ownership of the source of the water. With another injection of grant 40,000, they do chili planting, fertigation.
Oh, wow.
All right. So with that chili fertigation, somehow they do it really well. And with the resource person and the monitoring and coaching from the team, actually it come out quite successful. And there is some media doing report. And in the third phase, what they did, I really feel happy for them. They do ecotourism.
Wow.
Start bringing people to understand the situations and also telling a story.
Wow. So we've just by solving one issue, it leads to many other opportunities.
Yes.
Solving a lot of other issues and problems.
Yes, yes.
Thanks for highlighting to me that we actually have a water access problem for a lot of, I guess these are the more remote areas, unreported as well, maybe.
I think it's not unreported. If not mistaken, it seems like there is a data that about 30% of orang asli kampung in Malaysia actually do not access to clean water.
Wow, interesting. I need to really read up a little bit more on some of these
That's why we have a
issues.
lot of things to do.
yeah, exactly. So then it looks like you're really busy.
But anyway, it's very important that we work with talents.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't involve in. We have about 600 projects across the country. I can't be in all the projects, but we work with different stakeholders, and therefore we need young people or whoever who are putting effort to listen to this podcast to be a part of it.
Yeah. Career opportunity.
Volunteerism opportunity.
Well, so you talk about economy. What are the next few pillars, and what does it imply?
Okay, so economy is just now I did briefly mention it is related to our job opportunity, not only job opportunity, whether we have decent work. Okay, decent lifestyle, access to the sustainable access to the community, and also the servicing, also our corporate, whether they are using the material in a sustainable way. And the other two pillars is peace and partnership. Peace also included a strong institution, which is whether we are managing our organization, governance, our organization in a transparent and in a good structures. If talking about partnership, it involves a lot of aspects, including the resource exchange, knowledge exchange, and etc.
Yeah, and what you mentioned earlier on as well,
Yep.
politicians coming together, putting aside differences,
Yes.
working together for a sustainable future.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting that now you put sustainability in this, you paint it in this picture. It looks very complete. I guess a lot of people, when we talk about sustainability, we just talk about one aspect, go green, right? Or reduce paper cup, reduce paper, reduce carbon footprint. But I guess sometimes we hardly focus on the other aspects of sustainability and what
Yep.
we would call as SDG. In fact, just today or even in the past when you're having this communication with you, then only I start to realize, wow, sustainability is a really big part. And maybe to a certain extent, some of us have been practicing then these sustainability efforts in our
Yes.
everyday life.
Yes, definitely. And what I've shared just now is on SDG. Okay, put it this way, sustainability is a concept. But without a framework, it will just like remain a concept and it's so like abstract.
Yeah.
And therefore, in the government perspective or in a country perspective, there is a SDGs framework. But SDG frameworks may not relevant to all parties because hunger problem, poverty problem, what it do with us? But it give a very, very good direction for those who are very interested in national building or run as an organization.
Yeah.
But there is also other aspect that we can involve. I liked what you have put in your pantry.
Yeah.
I saw this word like arranging and cleaning is a process, not a project.
Yeah.
It's a
Exactly.
very good phrase. I would say that sustainability is a process, not a project. And therefore, in our own aspect, all right, in our own, we can be very sustainable practice as well.
Yeah.
For example, okay, put aside of SDGs. SDGs is more national context, etc. Now talk a little bit about organization context. Corporate. All right. Corporate have another framework, it's called ESG.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not coming to tell you all this framework, but I just give you another direction. But it will be more relevant to individual adoption. For example, when we are talking about practice sustainability in a corporate level, even SME, all right, it's about social. When we talk about social, it's not about poverty and hunger. It's like whether you have a good relationship with your stakeholders, whether the people who are working with you, even in the church, they have a good access to the training opportunity. They are treated decently. They have the right to voice. Okay, so this is what under the social pillar. And under the environment pillar, whether we are using our electric, our water in an effective way,
Yeah.
our waste management. After, in church, sometimes we print a lot of bulletin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Whether that is that is needed, and or if that is needed, are we really doing it effectively?
Yep.
And also our carbon footprint and our transportations and a lot of things that can be very, very daily practice.
Yeah. Then I will also add, would sustainability then also lean towards sort of like our social responsibility then? Because as you can see, it's not just carbon footprint alone,
Yep.
but it's also how we relate to the society, right?
Yeah. That's why I call ESG, social aspect, economy aspect, and another one is governance aspect. Yeah.
And I think this really provides us with a lot to think through,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Our practices, our
Yes.
our way of running organizations, and the way we manage everything from
Yeah.
people all the way to our waste.
Yes. And also our governance.
Yeah.
Yeah, governance. Do we have actually a good policy to involve diverse background, different people in our organizations? I give you one case study that is really prompted me a lot. I was in the social impact for 18 years. I thought I have quite a number of experience in doing youth program or organizing, curating program.
Yeah.
But until in 2022, now it's 24, 2022, something's upon me because I do a youth summit. And at the time it's MCO, so it's online. So, and it come one speaker who are
Okay.
mute.
All right.
Alright, so, speaker mute. Macam mana? I really like, how are we going to actually deliver the message, and even
Yeah.
in the meeting.
Yeah.
And then I start notice, when you're dealing with a group of mute and deaf people, so it's different approach. And I start thinking, hey, in the past, all my projects is not inclusive to those who are deaf and mute.
Yeah.
And after that, all my national projects, Youth SDG Summit, I will have sign language interpreter. All right. And another example of inclusivity is, again, is during the Youth SDG Summit, we are talking about inclusive gender equality. So one of the speaker came and interviewed. He wants to advocate for LGBT. All right. So at the time, I also get a shock. It's like, how should I include him? Because the way he present is not emotion. You can see that he had did a lot of research. He's coming from a scientific base. But the Youth SDG Summit is actually endorsed or supported by the United Nations country teams, by the KBS government, and we have about 40 strategy partners in the country.
Okay.
So in Malaysia,
Yeah.
can we really openly talk about this?
Yeah.
Put them on the stage.
Wow.
Then I asked my mentor, my boss, Prof. Dato Dr. Denison Jayasuriya. So, what should I do? You guess. If now your youth leaders is asking you,
Okay.
what will you do?
I would say it's a talk, right? It's a talk. I think having a talk will not really affect much. I would give that opportunity to share your point of view, right? But sharing your point of view doesn't necessarily means I have to change my stand on the issue. But that doesn't mean I cannot be open to see from your point of view. Yeah, that would be my response.
So if you are interested about what, I think the speaker name is Jevin, chat about, you can go YouTube, My SDG Academy, and found that sharing. At that time, we also been that we actually put him on as a speaker, one of the speakers. At that time, Prof. Dr. Denison told me this. The gene of SDGs or sustainability is leaving no one behind. Okay, including those who are minority, those who are different from us. And therefore, we provide a platform for the inclusive voice, but we don't promote. All right, which means that there is a lot of actually people in our world that I don't know. It just happened to be different.
Yeah.
So are we going to mute all their voices
Yeah.
or exclude them in whatever we do?
Yeah.
At least now you go YouTube, you can find another perspective of looking in sensitive issues. And therefore, yeah, this is where it comes that I think sustainability doesn't mean that something very big, a project, but it's really back to the principle, the spirit of love.
Yeah.
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 In our world, we have so many people, they born to be different. For example, refugee, stateless people. What they did wrong?
And they don't have a voice.
Yeah, what they did wrong? They couldn't choose their parents where they born, and yet they do not access to education, do not access to job opportunity, not even basic human rights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like the whole concept that you put forth where it says leave nobody behind. But sometimes I feel that in some of our sustainable movements today, especially those eco shops, it's really made for more for people who are higher earners, right?
Yeah.
And I think I'm not sure, is that really missing the point? Sometimes an eco-friendly product, it's more expensive than something that is not eco-friendly, but it's cheap and it's mass production and whatnot.
Okay.
Right? Do you think there is more to be improved then in that area?
All right. I tell you something is very, very interesting. I invited to give talk in different ESG awareness campaign program. So one of the reason, the push why corporates should adopt ESG framework is because it create economic opportunity. You can become the service provider that actually sell people sustainable solutions.
Yeah,
And
products and
so so from the perspective or from the angle as a corporate, hey, this is a money making opportunity.
Yeah.
But now I listen from a consumer perspective.
Yeah.
All right. So what I would say that there are a lot of solutions, products that eco-friendly available in the community that we can buy, we can adopt with cost. But there are also a lot of solutions. It's not coming. It's actually by creativity, by innovative, and you do not need to spend a lot of money.
Doesn't have a price tag on it.
Doesn't have a price tag. For example, saving water. A simple auntie in the house who was sensitive to water usage, they know that after washing the veggie, okay, the water still can use to clean the toilet. Is that expensive?
Yeah.
No. It's just like whether first you are sensitive enough with the resources that you are using.
Yeah.
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 And secondly, do you care enough? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the whole mindset then is not about starting from a product, but starting from the very simple practices in life, right?
Yeah. Starting with a care.
Yeah.
Care about the environment, care about the ecosystem. I give you another example. All right, talking about eco-friendly, right? It doesn't mean that okay, I stop cutting the trees, I stop the pollutions. Not only that, one of the story that shared by my friend, I get quite inspired. So one day she went to jogging. She saw a ladies actually in the river cleaning the haishao. What is the haishao?
I'm not sure.
Seaweed. Seagrass. Seaweed.
Seagrass.
Seagrass. Haishao.
I think seaweed.
Seaweed at the side of the river. And my friend go and ask, hey, why you do so? I say, oh, because this seaweed will block the fish in the river.
Oh.
I think it's a very small action, but it comes from love and care. It's true. And there's a blocking there, all right? Then the micro, the small fish may be caught there. And then cannot. This is actually related to biodiversity. Right?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So very simple practices.
It's a very
right?
simple practice.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, as we come towards the end of this very interesting conversation, I learned so much. It really expanded my mind about what sustainability is. But let's bring it a little bit closer to home. Church. I come from a church organization. I'm sure you have spoken in quite a number of churches on this issue, on this topic. Now, I know you are not in this position to do so, but just general observation. What do you think of, sustainability efforts in the many churches that you have visited?
Okay.
Doesn't have to be specific. Don't worry, don't have to name names.
I think the sustainability effort is back to relevant.
Yeah.
It's back to relevancy to whatever we do and what the God wants us to do. If I can get my phone, you can cut, right? Yeah, I just want to share that very beautiful phrase. Sorry, then. All right. Just now we were talking about the sustainability in church. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So I would like to share with you this very beautiful song that you have sing this morning service. In the darkness, we were waiting without hope, without light. Till from heaven you came running. There was mercy in your eyes. And the verse is talking about the greatness of Jesus being sacrificed and and then life again. So the sustainability of church is really start back to the basic, being relevant to the community,
Yeah.
being relevant to love. I see a lot of people actually leave the church because they feel hurt.
Yeah.
All right. They being a lot of judgment,
Yeah.
go through a lot of judgment, and they don't feel love.
Yeah.
Okay, the greatness of love, the God, it won't be feel by the people if it's not relevant to their pain, to their darkness. So there is a lot of aspect to talk about sustainability in church. You can talk about the resources, how we use the resources, but in this podcast, I want to bring people back into the human element, the social aspect. That if you want to continue to grow and expand, we have to back to the basic of love, including how we treat our member, how we treat our co-workers. We see a lot of committee members, they are actually burnt out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why? A lot of member, they are talking about love, but they don't feel love. Why? Right? And back to that, back to love. Even whatever ESG, SDG framework, you can say, give the decent salary, give the training opportunities, give a voice. It's actually all about love.
Yeah. Wow.
Alright.
That's powerful. I love how you put it. Back to basics.
Back to
You can do everything else, but if you can't love people as they are, as Jesus loved us,
Yes.
and I guess everything else is just pointless. Wow. That's very interesting, very powerful insights from Zoel. And unfortunately, we have to come to an end. Wish we could go on, maybe part 2 next time. But yes, thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of our Chit-Chat podcast. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.